Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your Monday to Friday update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. Before I get into it, I just want to let you know that as of tomorrow at 10 AM, I'm going to have my Learn Pure Elliott Wave online course on sale for 48 hours. I'm going to be offering it to you for $100 off. It's 22 lessons and I've got some really unique lessons that are perfect for people who learn by doing. I'm using my 16 years experience plus over 10 now as a chartered market technician and my qualification and experience as a New Zealand secondary school teacher to put this all together. And at the bottom of this page you'll see some testimonials from our students who find this course really good. When you purchase Learn Pure Elliott Wave during the sale, I'll give you an opportunity at checkout to also get Buy Low, Sell High, which I think is the most important of the 3 courses I've created. The other 2 hang off this. I'm going to give it to you for a ridiculously low price. It's a lot shorter, but it's got some really important big picture concepts that are essential to finding those opportunities where you can make multi-generational wealth. And if you choose to purchase Buy Low, Sell High as an add-on, I'll throw in Learn Pure Technical Analysis for free, which means you can get my whole suite of 3 courses for a ridiculously low price. It's on sale for 48 hours starting tomorrow at 10 AM. Let's get into the analysis. I noticed this flag pattern last week and it's playing out exactly as a flag pattern should. Price broke out to the downside. I calculated a target 34,530, which I still think is too low. A little back test of resistance, and now today price has closed well below, moving down and away. I expect it may end about 38,500, 38,000, a little bit of a zone there, a $500 zone, so I expect there's a little bit more downward movement to go yet for the short term for Bitcoin. But don't panic. The bigger trend is still upward. There will be pullbacks and consolidations along the way. Conditions at this high for the short term were extreme, so this pullback is going to be relieving those extreme conditions and setting the market up for the next strong bullish run. Volume is pushing price lower for the last completed session of Monday, so let's expect more downward movement. ADX tells us there's a downward trend. There's a long way to go before it's extreme. RSI is approaching oversold, but it's not there yet, and money flow is just below the halfway mark. There's this little consolidation zone here from on balance volume. We'll watch this carefully over the next few days to see if we can see a signal. The lowest support line has previous 2 tests, so only the minimum requirement before you can draw a trend line. You need 2 anchor points. Maybe we could count this as a 3rd test, so it's got pretty weak technical significance. A break below that, if we see that tomorrow, would be a weak bearish signal. Doesn't mean that price isn't going to break below 38,500, 38,000 though. It just would support the view that it's going to get down there. Before I go, this is not my Elliott Wave count for Bitcoin, but this is an idea I just wanted to float because I haven't seen anyone else come up with this. I see quite a few people with really bearish wave counts for Bitcoin, and they're trying to fudge it, and they're trying to see from this low to this high, or maybe they're ignoring the early parts and they're starting from somewhere in here, and they're trying to see an impulse complete at this high over here. I have not seen any wave count that sees an impulse complete from say anywhere down here to up here with good proportion and having a decent probability. But hey, what I would publish as a bearish idea is this. When I analyze forex markets, when you look at the big picture on a monthly and quarterly chart, if you know your Elliott Wave, you'll notice that forex markets, they tend to form corrective structures, whereas compare and contrast that with indices, which have a strong tendency to form strong impulses to the upside. They'll have 5 up, 3 down, huge 5 up, 3 down, and so on for hundreds of years. Forex, however, tends to form big corrective structures, and I think that's because fiat-based currencies have a tendency to go to zero, and so they're forming corrective structures and eventually they just disappear, which is why you get corrective structures on the chart. Now this structure expects you seeing a huge corrective structure, so this zigzag up you could label either wave A or wave W. It could be a multiple, or it could be, say, wave A in a huge triangle. You could be looking for B, C, D, E, or so on off to the right of the chart. But I think there's a couple of problems with this, and I almost never mention fundamentals, and I guess this is a fundamental. Unlike fiat currencies, Bitcoin has some really important differences. Fiat currencies are backed by debt. Bitcoin is not backed by debt. Fiat currencies are infinite. You can create as much as you like. You can create as much debt as you like. And every time banks make loans, they're essentially creating more currency. But Bitcoin, you can't create as much as you like. It's got scarcity built into it, which makes it more akin to a commodity-backed currency, like a gold-backed currency. So I don't think it's very likely that Bitcoin is going to form the kind of structures that forex markets like dollar, yen or euro I see doing, forming huge corrective structures. So that would reduce the probability of this. But my biggest problem in terms of technical analysis is I see way too much strength up in this movement for this to be a B wave. This just looks wrong. Anyway, even though I think this has a ridiculously low probability and I'm not publishing it for my membership as a viable bearish alternate, I will acknowledge its usefulness in, if we see B move beyond the start of A to make a new all-time high, a fraction of a cent on a tick chart will invalidate this wave count, and that will add more confidence to my main Elliott wave count, which I can't show you here, but I did do a huge video on that today for my membership. I do that every Monday for them. If you want that, you can get it. Go over to my website and check it out. My Elliott wave count for Ethereum, I had expected the correction could have been over here, but very obviously that's not the case. Now I'm looking for support at the lower edge of this base channel. Let's zoom out so I can show you how I've drawn this base channel. I've drawn it from the low on the 12th of October to the low on the 3rd of January and placed a parallel copy up on the high of the 2nd of December. So that's a base channel drawn from the start of 1 to the end of 2 with a copy on 1. The lower edge of the base channel should be where lower degree corrections find support in a bull market, and so I'll expect subnuit 2 to find support at the lower edge of this channel. Subnuit 2 subdividing as a zigzag, A, B, C, C a 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 may not move into wave 1 price territory, so if we get a new high above 2412.93, that would give us some information that subnuit 2 may well be over, and a third wave up within minuet 1 may then be underway. I might move this up 1 degree. This could be minuet 1 and 2. Either way, the invalidation point remains the same. 2 may not move beyond the start of 1 below 2092.33. Technicals for Ethereum very quickly today. Price is broken below support at 2,400. It was pretty strong. Previous resistance, a breakthrough, backtest of support, now moving back into the previous consolidation zone. Look out for next strong support about 2,100. Volume was pushing price lower for the last downward session, so I don't think the pullback's over yet. Let's expect a little bit more downward movement is most likely. Ethereum has given us a bearish signal. It's a weak bearish signal. The follow through may not be much, so 2,100 for support. ADX is flat, no clear trend. Using a model of stochastics plus support and resistance, I'd expect stochastics to continue lower until it reaches oversold, and price to continue lower until it reaches support, and that may be where the downward trend ends. The Elliott wave count for XRP, we could have a complete corrective structure over here. I can see this now for XRP, an expanded flat for a little minuet degree second wave correction, A, B, C. C now subdivides as a 5-wave impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 has remained below wave 1 price territory. There's no overlap. Just double checking that. 0.5549, 0.5552, there's no overlap. So this is a valid Elliott wave count. The structure could now be complete. If it does continue lower, minuet 2 may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.4962. A new low below that point would see me label minor 2 incomplete, and I'd expect it may be a little bit more of a deep pullback, moving lower as a double zigzag. So in order to allow for that possibility, I'm leaving my invalidation point for XRP at 0.4456. Minor 2 may not move beyond the start of minor 1 below that point. Technicals on the daily for XRP, I have to change this now to resistance. So what was previous support at 54.55 cents has been broken with a close below it. So let's look now for next support below about 0.4875. Volume is pushing price lower, but we are seeing weaker volume for XRP. So for the short term, this one isn't actually looking as bearish as the other two for the very short term now. It's a bit of a change for XRP this week so far. ADX is still indicating a downward trend, quite a long way to go before it reaches extreme. RSI is not oversold. It's getting pretty close though. Money flows below the 50 mark, but a ways to go before that gets oversold. And range declining as price falling, so a lack of volatility in this downward movement. It looks like a counter trend movement, and for XRP it looks like it might be over sooner rather than later now. That's it from me today with your quick update. I hope everyone had a really lovely weekend.